Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Roundtable.
You're tuned in to Roundtable. I'm Steve Hatherley today with Yushan and Yushan. Coming up, what if your shortcut to a better body came with some hidden costs? Luxury weight loss camps are booming, and they promise fast results and expert guidance in a summer transformation. But behind the glowing reviews, some facilities have been cited for safety violations. Extreme exercise routines and severe calorie restrictions can lead to disordered eating, not sustainable health. So when does a health goal become a health risk? After that, ever gotten an apology that made things worse? I think we've all heard them at least once. How about this for an example? Oh, I'm sorry if you feel that way. Well, that's not an apology. That is blame in disguise. Today we're going to break down why so many apologies backfire and why the word but destroys everything from the get-go. What I mean is, oh, I'm sorry, but... yeah, doesn't work, whatever you're going to say next. Our podcast listeners can find us at Roundtable China on Apple Podcasts. Don't forget, we love to hear your voice, too. So send your voice notes our way. Roundtablepodcast at QQ.com. Once again, Roundtablepodcast at QQ.com. It is summertime, and for many people, that means thinking about getting fitter, losing a few pounds, and feeling healthier. Chances are, while you've been scrolling online recently, you've come across some eye-catching before and after photos of people in their pre-diet and post-diet poses. Maybe you've also seen advertisements promising dramatic weight loss in just a few weeks at so-called luxury weight loss camps. The promise... it does indeed sound tempting. Rapid results, expert guidance, and a shortcut to a better version of yourself. But behind that marketing lies a far more complicated and sometimes troubling reality. Today we'll look at the booming weight loss camp industry, where intense exercise routines and severe calorie restrictions can sometimes outweigh science, safety, and proper oversight. The idea of the so-called weight loss camp, though, is not entirely new. It's been around for a really long time.
Yeah, it's been around for as long as I can remember. It's always deemed as a good way, or at least a very highly efficient way for people to fall into that group-managed self-discipline of just doing heavy exercises. They are designed for rapid weight loss through strict diets, relentless exercises, and around-the-clock kind of surveillance that prevents participants within the camp from leaving or sneaking in any snacks. And in the meantime, follow what they've been guided and try to lose weight as fast as they like.
There are even TV shows.
Yeah.
And can be really, really popular.
I'm going to talk about an American TV show that was insanely popular. I think it had 17 seasons, 16, 17
Whoa.
seasons. And then they made a documentary about it. We'll get to that in a little while. These are popular here in China too, yes?
Yes, especially since recent years, because official data shows that the combined overweight and obesity rate among Chinese adults have reached over 50% as of 2025 report from Xinhua. So without intervention, this figure is definitely going to raise. It's going to surpass 70% by 2030. So now is the time that we take control of that. And as demand for weight loss programs continues to grow, just slimming down camps, the weight loss camps or boot camps, whatever way you call it, have been popping up across the country, especially since recent years. As of 2024, I think, it was reported by another leading media that more than 1,000 facilities has been operating nationwide here in China. And they often get accommodated or repurposed from old school or dormitories. So you see in their promotional videos that within a seemingly abandoned big factory, and there are very highly equipped gym stuff or like workout stuff inside.
They give it a very industrial feel sometimes. Yeah, and I'm not sure about in China, but in Canada or America, the way that these camps are often advertised, it's almost like it's militaristic, like extreme training.
It's meant to have that level of extreme
And
training.
that's how they market it as well. They don't market it like you're coming on a vacation and hopefully you'll lose a few pounds. No, they market it as a very serious weight loss program that is to be taken very seriously.
Yeah, indeed. And also, here is one case that shows just how the camp looks like here in China. So for one 30-year-old, let's call her Li, she joined a weight loss camp in 2024. And it seemed like a perfect solution for her because it just suggests all of the very self-disciplined training and high management on what you eat and how you train. So the camp she attended in eastern China's Zhejiang province was also in that facility style or factory style. And every day they followed coaches through intense aerobic workouts set to loud dance music. It sounds fun. On a large indoor stage, they were asked to repeat the high-intensity exercises day after day, and sometimes regardless of their age. Of course, that's the downside of it. And life inside the camp was tightly controlled too, as reported by other people via social media, that they tend to live in dormitories for easier management, and so that they can go out and go back, like clock in, clock out at the same time.
It's a camp. Yeah, you go there and you stay there for a period of time.
And the food, especially outside food deliveries, were banned, and leaving the facility was generally not allowed except during designated breaks.
Yeah, so a lot of people, and we'll get to what can be the dangerous side of some of these camps. In a few minutes, but they market it as a very positive, very powerful, almost guaranteed way to deliver the results that you are looking for.
Yeah, and some people even got a very positive experience.
Which is just what I was about to say,
right?
Because we're not here to say that these are going to fail 100%
exactly.
of the time. There are cases that needed to be looked at, but for some people, they go there and they have extremely positive results.
That's one Australian lady known online as Egg Eats. I'm sure that's her just alter ego name. That she has been sharing a rare glimpse into what life is like behind the gated compounds via social media. And upon the time she shares, she's 28 years old, and she joined it here in China. And so the day usually starts, according to her, from 7:30 a.m. in the morning. They wake up and they just start to join hours of spinning, boxing, and HIIT sessions, which are all very high-intensity workouts. And then for her, the outcome turns out pretty good because by day 7, just within 1 week, she had already lost 2.25 kilograms. That's a pretty handsome weight loss within a week. And by day 14, 4 kilos in total.
Yeah, so that for that particular influencer, she had a great experience there.
Right.
But Yushan, behind the promise of quick results, there's the question of how safe these programs are, because again, they can be very extreme.
There are news about how extreme these kind of weight loss camp can be, and recently a male participant was found dead in a weight loss camp in Zhengzhou, that's in China's central Henan province, after spending about a month there. And the cause of death is still under investigation, and the camp has since suspended operations. And reports say the facility had been open for more than a year, housed around 30 participants at the time, and charged as little as 1,580 yuan, that's around $230 a month for their accommodation, meals, and training and everything. So it's a whole package for the participants to experience the lose weight.
And that was a recent case, so that's still under investigation, yes?
Yeah. In recent years, several incidents and serious injuries have been linked to weight loss camps. And earlier this year, a 32-year-old man also died at a camp in Shandong. So there are some incidents happening there, but the thing is that we need to realize what is the reason and what was happening during the time that they were in these kind of camps.
Of course. This is not just happening in China alone. This phenomenon of weight loss camps exists in the United States as well. I think it exists in a lot of countries around the world. I watched a documentary. Well, actually, I watched the show when it was on, and then I watched the documentary that came out years later. There was a popular television show in America. It was called The Biggest Loser, meaning who can lose the most weight. It was a reality weight loss show. It was on air for a long time, from 2004 to 2016, 17 seasons in total. So contestants, this is how the show worked, or how it functioned. The contestants would live together at a weight loss ranch, like at a farm type of thing. And each week they did several hours of brutal exercise. They were restricted to a very low-calorie diet, and then there were trainers there, and they divided them into teams, right? And the trainers were, when you watch the TV show, the trainers were over the top. They were extreme. Now, remember, it was for TV. So everything you see on TV is going to be amped up like times 100, right?
Performative.
So, well. So when I was watching, I thought, okay, this is done for television. Like, they're pushing them to almost dangerous limits. Like, the trainers are screaming at them. The contestants sometimes would collapse and pass out, and it made for, quote, good TV, right? They love that drama for television.
They need to picture that no pain, no gain image.
That's what they're selling, right? Is that you're not going to be able to change your body unless you get pushed to this almost dangerous level. Then it came out that there were serious, almost fatal consequences from some of the extreme measures that the show had pushed the contestants to. There was one contestant, her name was Tracy Yukich, I think, and she collapsed during a challenge, and she had to be airlifted to a hospital. She was diagnosed with something called rhabdomyolysis or something like that, which is a condition where your muscle breaks down and then it releases toxic proteins into the bloodstream. This can be fatal because it can cause your organs to fail. There was another contestant who was told to stop drinking fluids 24 hours before they weigh them. That's how the show functioned. At the end of the week or whatever, they would weigh them, and whoever lost the least amount of weight would be eliminated. The point is, it was kind of toxic and it was very unhealthy, but I don't think when they were making the show, they realized how toxic or dangerous or unhealthy it was. The documentary that I watched later on showed the contestants, it interviewed the former contestants who were talking about how dangerous it actually was for their health, and how extreme the trainers were in pushing them to a dangerous level. So that's an example too from the United States. So this is not new. The concept of pushing people to dangerous extremes at these camps is not new.
Yeah, and I remember seeing cases all around the world that some of these camps are for teenagers too, like for young kids.
Yeah, even younger. And the strong or intensified level of training and the strict control of calories intake, it doesn't really work for everybody, and we don't have to move to the point where somebody passes away to realize how serious this gets. So really, a healthy goal here, it becomes a risk even only when training ignores individual physical differences. It's not the same for everybody. If this works for you, good for you, but it's not saying that it's for everybody. Right, but it can get to a point where a smaller number on a scale stops being your goal and turns into something quite dangerous.
The biggest selling point here is just how fast you can lose weight in just a few number of days, and that's what attracted a lot of people. But according to Dr. Zhang Yuanyan from the First Affiliated Hospital of Zhengzhou University, the rapid weight loss within a very short or limited time may lead to problems such as hair loss, hormonal imbalances, and a weakened immune system. And that's very minor things that's changing your body, your health, without you even noticing it happening. And in several cases, in severe cases, it can even become life-threatening, like the cases we just mentioned.
And, the change on the numbers, sometimes it can be not that realistic in the ways that sometimes you're just losing water and muscle in your body, but you're not losing fat. It is actually a practice that a lot of people may come across when they're trying to lose weight. But in these kind of camps, because of these intense exercises and maybe the limit of their intake, some kind of these circumstances may occur. That means that they may just cut the water intake, or they lost the percentage of their muscle in their body. So, of course, these kind of things, we need a whole, I think, bunch of assessment and management on these kind of things. And it's not like everybody who want to lose weight can join these kind of weight loss
and
camp.
That's part of the criticism of these camps, is that this is not a one-size-fits-all program, or it shouldn't be anyway, because people come in with different conditions. And a lot of these facilities will fail to conduct proper pre-camp physicals of the people who are going to be joining. They will fail to conduct exercise risk assessments. They will ignore the campers' underlying health histories, which is not just like, oh, maybe we should know that. No, if you're going to push people to an extreme level of exercise,
you need to know.
Then you need to know. This is not simply a recommendation. And speaking of recommendations, what do health experts say about losing weight? And I think this is important information for everybody to know. They talk about it in terms of a per month, at least in the beginning, right? We're not talking about per day or per week. Experts will talk about per month loss.
Yes, a slower, steadier phase is usually needed, and that's usually considered safer and more effective, according to health experts. And this is also citing from China's 2024 weight management guideline that most people who are overweight or mildly obese should aim to lose about 2 to 4 kilograms per month at the beginning. So don't just chase for a high intensity or high efficiency in losing fat or losing weight. And then for people with moderate or severe obesity, the goal is usually set in stages, losing 5%, 10%, and then 15% of your current body weight over a period of 3 to 6 months would be considered reasonable. So in other words, healthy weight loss is meant to be a gradual process. It's not a race against anybody. It's just your own process.
Well, yeah, it can't be a race because the human body isn't designed to undergo that level of intensity over that short period of time. And it can work out for people. We've seen plenty of positive reports about people who do very well at these camps. But again, it's up to the individual. And as the trainers need to know, you have to be responsible about what you're doing. And as the person who is potentially signing up for one of these camps too, please make sure that you're doing so very safely throughout the process, because things can go from intense to dangerous in a very short period of time. You're listening to Roundtable, and coming up next, why is an apology so hard to get right?
Looking for passion? How about fiery debate? Want to hear about current events in China from different perspectives? Then tune in to Roundtable, where East meets West and understanding is the goal.
This is Roundtable. I'm Steve, today with Yushan and Yushun. Ever received an apology that made you want to scream? Not out of excitement because you finally got your apology, but because of anger. We've all been on the receiving end of a non-apology apology. Those frustrating phrases we've heard like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, which effectively turns a mistake into the victim's subjective problem, which is not the way you're supposed to apologize to people. Yushan, why is it so hard to make it a good one?
Yeah, since we're like talking this as a topic on the show, we are giving it terms and everything. But actually, deep down, everybody knows that what is an apology, what is an appropriate apology. Because when you do that apology, if that doesn't like come out good, it means that you didn't apologize genuinely.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
which is what we call the non-apology apology.
Exactly, that's the term. It's often to end the conflict as quickly as possible without directly admitting any wrongdoing. But most importantly, it avoids admitting how their words or actions may have hurt or affected someone else.
What are some bad ways to apologize?
I think you just mentioned several that it's quite intriguing. I'm sorry if you were offended.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you feel like this, but so yeah, fine. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Is that all right?
That one too. Yes. Yeah.
You are saying I'm sorry, but you don't mean it at all.
Yeah, that last one. I've done that one.
Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're just trying to finish the argument as quickly as possible.
It's a bandage on the bleeding wound.
Yeah,
but it doesn't fix anything.
It's just not necessarily the most sincere way to go about things. Why is it so difficult, though? What do you think? I mean, forget what experts say. I want to know what you think. Why is an apology? Well, let me ask you two questions. Number one, are you good at apologizing?
Oh, yeah.
And number two, why is it so hard for people to do?
I am such bad apologizer.
Really?
I'm so bad at it. And I was discussing this with my girlfriend. I realized the issue that I am having.
She brought it up.
Yes.
You're a bad apologizer.
Yes, and I realized that I was not good at. I probably did everything we just mentioned. But the thing is that maybe deep down in my mind, it's hard for me to admit that I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is the main cause of I was not good at apologizing. And maybe the scene that I did apologize were only for, I just don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah,
so
quick
I just
fix.
apologize.
Getting out of it.
Yes.
I mean, it is universal, isn't
Yes.
it? It's something that everybody, male or female, has. That is to avoid damaging our own self-image. We don't want to admit that we're wrong. We want to be right. We want to look good, and we want to be the righteous side if there is an argument.
But you just said you're a good apologizer.
Yes.
What do you mean you're a good apologizer?
I think after years of observing myself, I realized that I've got the skill of telling the key of the conflict, like why this happens in the first place, that you and we don't agree with each other. And then quickly, what I do next is analyze whose wrongdoing that is. If it's not mine, then I defend. But if it is indeed mine, or intentionally or unintentionally I do this and cause this to happen, then a good and genuine apology is indeed the fastest and most effective way to convey the message that I don't want to hurt you. I don't want this to happen to both of us, but it does happen, and I'm sorry.
This is what the experts say.
Right?
Why it's difficult to offer a sincere apology. One, it's a threat to our self-image. Kind of what you said, Yushan. You don't want to admit you're wrong. It's kind of like losing face, right?
Yeah.
Here's another one. This one's kind of interesting. They call it defensive listening. So when we are confronted with our mistakes, our brain enters a state of defensive listening where we look for flaws or exaggerations in the other person's story. So you feel, your brain goes like this. Maybe I made a mistake here. That's what my brain sounds like, by the way. How do I get out of this as quickly as possible? Okay, let's listen to the story. They're probably wrong about something.
There's got to be a flaw.
There's going to be a flaw in there,
Yeah.
and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to tell them what that flaw is.
To defend myself.
So I can protect
Yeah.
myself. That strategy does not work.
It only escalate things.
So, how? Let's let you be the master, Yushan.
Huh?
Teach us. how to effectively apologize.
So there is indeed a standard way of doing apologies, and this is according to psychiatrists too. First, you acknowledge what you did wrong, and second, you explain what happened and why.
You taking notes?
Kind of, yes.
Yeah. So, Gary, can you start over? He was looking at his phone for a second.
Right. So first,
See, this is why you're a bad apologizer.
Number one, you acknowledge what you did wrong.
Okay.
Just do it. Just acknowledge it.
Say what you did
Say
wrong.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Number two.
Second, you explain what happened and why. Tell the context. This triggered you to do this. Give the background.
What you did wrong. Number two, why you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And third, you show genuine regret, whether that's remorse, humility, or even a sense of shame.
Okay.
And this, I would think this only works when you genuinely want to apologize to people that you care about.
Right. Is there a number four?
Finally, number four, you try to make things right by offering some form of repair or compensation. I'm sorry I did this, and is there anything I can do to make you feel all right?
Compensation.
Mm-hmm.
Compensation sounds so transactional. Here is some money. Here is a new toy.
That's the tricky thing about making an apology, too, is not always transactional. Even if you apologize, you can't expect the other party to immediately, quote unquote, forgive you.
Oh,
But
some
you know
people-
what?
Some people get mad if you
Yeah.
don't accept their apology
Right.
immediately.
The thing is that timing is really important. That's from my real life experience. You kind of need to.
Don't delay it.
It is really hard, but you kind of need to, yes, do this. Apologize in time. And that is, I think, the perfect time that they can accept that kind of emotion.
Yeah, and even delayed, better late than never.
Okay, we have to apologize to our listeners. What? Because the show is finished. Why? Because we're out of time. I regret to inform you of that, but I will compensate you with a show tomorrow.
Nice.
Good learner.
Self-improvement. Thanks for being on Roundtable today. See you next time.